Hey again guys, today we're in a 20 something, it's a 2019 Holden Colorado, so this will be 2016 to 2020 I believe. Obviously they stopped making these, so if your dash looks like this is what you need. The AC controls could be a bit different and you could have a bigger screen, but as long as your AC vents look the same, this will be the video for you. So obviously factory radio, it did have a little bit going on. I think it actually does have CarPlay. It's got a few settings in here. Apart from those settings, there's not too much else it does. Obviously we've got steering controls. You might have to have the door shut for that to work. But it has a factory reverse camera with trajectory lines on it. We have a USB and auxiliary in this center console, so we'll keep all that while working. So this is the video for you. So first thing we need to do is pop these two silver trims off, which we're going to do with the trim tool. Then there's a few 7mm screws we're going to take out, and then we're going to pull this whole bit out. Trim tool, it's in the kit. You should just be able to push them in, and it can be a bit tight at times. And that's going to just pop off like so. A couple clips on there. 1, 2, 3, 4 need to come out. Alright, those 4 have been taken out. Now, starting from the bottom here, along with the trim tool, popping. It'll all make little pop sounds as it comes out a little bit. Get your hand under to kind of help you. Okay, they can be a bit tight. I did end up going under here, and clipping out was the little trick that helped me got it. So here and here, boom, boom, and that helped me get it out like that. Now that whole bit comes out. There's just a few plugs we have done, which I'll show you. And then we'll go to the next stage. So in the back here, we want to unplug everything. 2 top ones here just have 2 little tabs you have to push down to take them out. 1, 2. Getting a trim tool into this one here can help push it in the tab and pull it out. Now this whole AC bit down the bottom we're going to keep, so we're just going to unscrew the 4 Phillips head in there, and we can pull the whole AC bit out. We don't have to unplug anything. So then we have to get this one here out of here. It's a bit tight, so just get that trim tool in there, the side, to help push that tab in to get it out. And then here you had 1, 2, 3, 4 Torx 20 screws. So once you pull all those out, this whole AC control can sit there, and then we can just move away that whole piece there. So there you go. So that's what we're left with at the moment. These are our radio plugs. Now this must be the base model, because some of the other models have a Bluetooth, a stereo module here, and they have an extra one in here. But this here is basically the radio box, this one here. So just to recap, I'll use the trim tool to help you out, push the tabs down the top. 4 Torx 20 in here, we'll pop out that, and then we'll carry on. So we'll take out the old radio system here. You just need to pop that tab out first, and then clip the clippers up. So I'll show you what I mean in a second. So flip that tab back, and then get the trim tool in here. Sometimes it's easier to get it back here. Push it up and wiggle it out. These ones are going to be the same a little bit. I've just got push tabs again, and these ones will have the same. Again, push tabs on the bottom. Do it. If anything gets a bit hard to take out, push it all the way back in, and then clip those tabs up hard and pull out. So there you have it there. That just has that little flipper on the top. There's your old radio box. Now we'll go to the next stage. Alright, what you're going to get in the kit. So you're going to get our head unit. This is our M series one, AM, FM, 4G, auxiliary plugs, 20-pin main plug. Obviously comes with it's like the Facia, HD screen and everything. So that is it there. You get a manual, a USB drive for updating the software, an OBD2 dongle, a USB factory retention cable. This cable here is to get the factory reverse camera working. A single USB, dual USB and external mic port. All these USB type ones all goes into our auxiliary plugs. I will cover that. Auxiliary input. Most people won't use this, but it can give you a third option for a camera or to keep the auxiliary port actually working on the car. 4G antenna, GPS antenna, our video camera in plug, which I'll put in here now because we always have that in for when we do our testing. I just drop something down here. Our Bluetooth antenna plug, I put that in like now. Pre-outs, this is only going to be used if you're going to use an aftermarket amp. If not, you're going to be using that one. Hydration assistant, plastic Facia clips to add onto the Facia to have it clip in. I'll show you those in a second. For 4G SIM tray, trim removal tools, trim piece. So 2 options here. You can obviously unscrew like this one and put in here. It's just if you got a manual aircon or a climate control type aircon. So you'll have either the 3 dials, or the other option has the little buttons in the middle. So you can swap the Facia out so it fits both models. Then we've got our main harness and CAN bus box. Here there's 2 in this kit. You might have 2 in the kit. If you do, use the one that doesn't have the CAN bus on it and swap the CAN bus onto the one that does, because I believe this here is the correct one. Now, in the future, you'll just have the one, so you won't have to worry about that. But if you do have 2, swap this like CAN bus onto here and you'll be good to go. And also swap this like speaker over. 2 white wires on a little plug here. It'll be hanging around somewhere on here. I'll show you when I untangle it anyway. It'll be in here somewhere. But I will show you about this like cable here, because we just made a better like cable that has a few different options, because on these cars there's a few different other modifications to get to work. So we've just made it easier with plugs you can swap the wires over on. That's everything that's in the kit. The only thing that isn't in here that should be is an external mic, so you should have one of like those in the kit. I've done our 2 swaps here, so goodbye. I've swapped this over and I've swapped our like speaker over, or our hook, we're going to call it there. That's just going to do your reverse like beeper sounds. So we're going to take this big cable and our head unit with these 2 plugs in it, and we're going to see if we can get it to power up and everything's like working as it should. Rightio, so get your big cable thing hanging out here. It's not too hard. No, the plugs can only where they can go, so just have a look at the ones you want. Looks like we're not using this green one. On some cars you will, and it'll be on like a second box down the bottom. If you get stuck, just take a picture of what you have there and we're always here to help you out. They should click in pretty nicely. If they don't, just double check the pins are all looking okay, and then you should be alright. Because sometimes like it, so you check the pins are straight in there, because if they aren't, it won't go in really nicely. So you should get a nice clicking sound like I got on the first one, which I'm not getting here. So you just check and see if it's pushing randomly against any of them. The trim tool is a good way to make sure they're straight. Normally they're pretty good. This one's just chosen to be a little bit difficult. That's in. I think that it was okay, the pins. It just took a good click to get to go in. Alright, so we got that and that in. The only other plugs we had here were these 2, which one of them's our USB retention, which we'll keep. And here you've got like a radio plug, blue, and this one is probably it's the green one. So if you follow here, you've got a black plug in here. That's going to go into the black one here. Should keep our radio happening. You can see we've also got an extra plug here, so there is a couple options here. Now that's all okay, because we just want to see if we can get it to work okay. So what we do is we grab our unit, we go to the end of here, we grab the big plug and we put it into here, and then we want to find a yellow plug hopefully hanging off here, camera, and put that into our purple one. So these 2 go together, because we want to see that we sort of have something going on, the camera's working, etc. And then the only other one you should have hanging around will be FM AM one. I plugged it in. We've also got some auxiliary ones. I'll show you those. That's just to keep that auxiliary port working. Now this here is a test to see if you have to change anything. So we have no power, which means we need to change something. So car's on, so nothing's happening here. So what we have to do. Alright, so we have like power now. So what you had to do is you are going to have a couple sort of left over depending on your model of car. So these 2 plugs are actually the same, but I knew it was probably going to be like this one, because it's got wires in here for the reverse camera, which is the RCA that's hanging off down here. But anyway, you basically have the CAN bus wire coming into like this plug here. You pretty much have to try like this wire in either like this one, so like this one, or like this one. So A1, A2, obviously it isn't going to be like that one here because this is not plugged into anything, or B1 or B2. Now you do have to turn the car off every time for this and like back on. So I'll turn the car on and I can hear our beeps coming out the speaker here. So that was giving us the sign, so it was working, and you can see the screens come on there. So I'll show you what we want to test now to make sure everything's sort of as it should be. You can see that screen there. So I didn't actually have, so we'll grab the radio plug. I'll show you what plugged at the back here. Main plug, this plug. So you also want to put on the radio plug into here, like that. And the reverse one, which is our camera plug, which is here, into our purple one, like that. So that's pretty much everything. So obviously I would
most important
do a scan. Okay, we've got like radio. I'm using like the steering wheel controls there. You can see like the volumes going down. So we've got steering wheel controls, sound, radio. Now the other thing we do want to check is put it into reverse. Our reverse camera comes up. and we have our traditional lines like working. You can see as I turn that. So that's basically everything you want to check, so we can like go and put the other cables in now and like tidy it up. Now if your plugs are a bit like different from this car, and you had a plug like this one, this can be the reverse camera at like times. There's like a second box here, so you unplug that, you plug our one in and you put it back in, and this here would go into the purple cam in, so into that cam in down there. So that would just be if you had a different option. If you get a bit stuck, just take some pictures and give us a call. But that is basically everything. So I'll go through now and I'll show you how to put the rest of the wires in. Next thing I do is I call these out auxiliary wires. We will put all like these in. So we've got this one here, a white plug. All the auxiliary ones plug into here, and obviously the 4Gs into those two. So these two, what we'd normally do is I'm gonna plug one of these USBs into here, which is a USB retention cable, and that'll keep the factory USB working. So all you gotta do is grab the factory USB, which is this black one, and plug it into here. That'll keep your factory USB working. This the second one here, I would run to the glove box, or if you're using one of our dash cams or something, you can use it for that. And the external mic, now you just plug the mic into here, and we normally run it, put the wire through here above the steering wheel. You can just pop this trim off here with your trim tools, and then it's up to you how serious you get here. You will want to pop off here, so you pull these two off, 1, 2. There's 2 screws and there the handle comes off, and you can pull this whole trim piece off. And then there's a cable tray there where existing cables are. You can just run the mic cable down with those existing cables, tape it to them, down into there. You've already popped that trim off and through to behind the head unit, and plug it into our a mic plug here. And then I just stick it to the windscreen up here. I put that back on, and that is the external mic. Our extra third USB, again, exact same thing, plugs into the auxiliaries. I would tuck that back into there, and I'll run it into there. So third USB through to there. Really easy in these cars to get to the glove box. It's just straight there. Obviously all your cables, make sure you run them underneath the aircon vents. SIM card tray, again, into the glove box. You only need this if you want to give data to the device at all times. You can put a SIM card. This antenna, pretty easy on these ones. You just want a clear view of the sky through the windscreen. So you just peel the stick pad off, and you can actually just stick it up under there, down onto there, and then it'll be sitting there, and it can go straight through there. The 4G antenna, this one can go wherever. We'll just stick it up under there underneath the dash like that. So those are all the cables you're going to put in. So that is all fine. And the only extra cable is, you'll see on our harness here, there's 2 auxiliaries coming off. Now you'll have to test them, because one of them is going to this cable here, which is going nowhere, but you can't really tell. So if you do want to keep the auxiliary port working, you'd probably just have to put something into the auxiliary and play music and test which one it is, because there isn't any more tail. And then this will go into our brown auxiliary plug, red and white, and then that goes into the back of our unit, and that'll keep working if you want that working still. So that's pretty much all that covered. Now we'll just go and cover what we need to do with the fascia to change it over for the etc. Just explain what we're doing here. We've got 3 screws in here. I've already taken out 2. That's just to pop off off like this, because I need this version. If you have this version of car, so I leave that one on, but we need this one, so I'm going to swap that. And then the other thing I have to do is pop out the AC vents. So I will show you that. And the final thing is to put these top clips on, and to take the clips off the old unit and put them onto our unit. So a good technique to get these aircon vents out is they've got 3 tabs on each side. You can see what the tabs are here. I pop the inside ones out first. So if you pop it with a screwdriver and put a bit of force as you do each one, you can see it almost came out there. I got all free up by just going a bit like that, and levering it up. And then to get the final ones out, just pop them. Again, it's plastic, so just take your time. They'll come out. They're just little clips that hold them on. So, and they come out like that, and then they slide onto our other one here. If you just line it all up and make sure it's all going to go down okay, and it should all clip in just how it's supposed to, and you will get your AC vents on the front here looking pretty good. So that's those 2 done. We've just put our this one on before, which I did before. Then the next thing we have to do is in a little small bag of plastic things. These here, in here is like I got on the first one, which I'm not getting here, some screws and some of these. So all that's going to happen here is on the top here, these just have to be screwed in like so, and you put the screw on. Now what that does is it just gives you the exact same as you had on the other one to match up with what I mean by that. So on here, and sorry, I had that one up the wrong way. So you'll want to do it sort of like angling up. So that little tab bit there is on the bottom. So we're going like that way. And I've got two little screw holes in there. You put both like those on, and you pop these old tabs off. Just put a screwdriver under here and pop off the old tabs and put them onto these. Now there's also screws to screw these on in that little kit there. So put both of those on. You need to pop the tabs off the bottom again, just like a flat head. You can lever those off and transfer them onto here. So then what you're going to want to do is it's probably easy to screw this like back in like first. If you start hedging it down here, screw these back in. It's going to go in with the 4 same screws to get your AC controls back in. Try and do it without unplugging this AC thing completely, but it was too much of a pain. So you've got 2 plugs in here. They're pretty straightforward. Just push down and pull out ones. And then you've got these 2 things here. Just take a picture of which way the wires are going, just so you don't put them in and it's all screwed around. So I know they went in there, that wire was like sticking out there, because you could put it in the wrong way somehow. But all you have to do to get these out is like these little white clips here, stick down in like these holes, just put like a flat head in and push it in and like flick it up. So normally you could just flick like one of them or 2 of them up and the whole thing will just come out. So those are white things, those little gaps there. Again, just like remember what like side they're on too, and we'll go and put this into the frame because it was a bit hard trying to do it there. Now we'll like fix this like for you hopefully, but if you do get one of our older ones, the deck was down the bottom. We had to shift the deck to the top, which so basically means you take the screws off around the outside, you pop it out of the frame, you take out these 2 on each side. This whole deck will pull out with just some cables and just sort of hang it nearby, and there's 3 screws on each side. You just sort of shift them all the way up. You shouldn't have to worry about doing that, but just in case you do get other one that's in the wrong spot. So all your extra wires here and like stuff, you got 2 sort of places to tuck them. You can either tuck them down here, or you can actually push them into the back up here, because our unit is going to stop about here anyway. So you got all that space in the back, or you can come down here. So I push the wires in, and then your whole fascia can go in. Then plug in all the wires. Sorry, I just missed that bit. But basically start from one side, the back of our hedging. Make sure you plug everything in. And then as you put things in, you'll see if you look behind the back, you kind of have to put our CAN bus and our wires. You can actually tuck them into that far enough, and then you come in and you kind of put the top in, and it just comes in like that. And then you got to put our 4 7mm back in, and then we go from there. Also, these are 4 screws to put in this one. The factory size ones won't fit, so we'll include some larger ones in our kit. Just the 4 Torx that you took out of here, they're a bit small to fit into our fascia, so we've got bigger ones. So I'll plug all the cables in, tuck the cables into the old radio spot into the back there. I'll make sure that this is screwed on and plugged back in, and then I'll push it in kind of top first and let the bottom follow and line up the aircon vents. Also, this is a good time to test that everything's working. So turn it on, make sure steering wheel controls, reverse camera, radio, AC, etc. is all working. I got those 4 back in now, and then put on your trim pieces again. These will just clip back on into our fascia like so. All looking pretty good. Line up the little clips as they clip in. That's all clipped in like so. The other unit's in, and that is basically the install job. That one didn't clip in right, so just line that up a bit better. That's a bit better. That was a bit off up the top. So just start from the top and work your way around to the bottom. You just want to make sure the clips on the back are lining up to the gaps on here. There we go. That's looking a bit better now. So they should line up pretty flush, and it should just look like a factory fit. I did find I have these centered to start off with, because if they're all the way one other way, it's going to catch. So just have the aircon vents starting straight. Start from the top and just go all the way around and get it all pushed in, and then you can see it all looking pretty awesome there. Just looks like a factory fit really. So great upgrade to the Colorado. All your factory options are going to work. Sorry, that's the one thing I didn't like mention before was that little horn sort of speaker on our harness. There's a freehand stick pad on the back. You can stick that somewhere, or you can tape it and zip tie it in. So there's a unit all hooked up. Obviously it brings some AC data through. That's basically it. Steering wheel controls are working. Reverse cam's working, the boot's up at the moment. That is basically everything, all looking good and all done. The install's pretty easy. The only hard thing is that you have to try to swap a few of the other wires sometimes, depending on all the different variations these have. So there you have it all in. Reverse camera not working. You've got your trajectory lines coming up there. Obviously we've got a wireless CarPlay or Android Auto. You can install whatever apps you want with the Play Store. It has navigation already installed. It runs Android by default. And then also in here you can see we still had on the original one we had some of that information, so we can still change some of these settings and whatnot. All done. A great install and a great upgrade to your 2016 Plus Colorado.